When you go after betting instead of working, you have sold out your future. If I were driven by money, I would not be in ministry today. And if I were not in ministry, I would not have fulfilled destiny. I know where I should have been now. No, see where my friend is. Don't run another man's race.
Welcome back to Season Tongue. The 20th Convocation ceremony of Covenant University happened today, and it wasn't just another event, it was a moment of destiny. As always, God's servant Bishop David Oyedepo gave a powerful charge that went far beyond the graduates sitting in that hall. It was a message for every youth, for anyone trying to find their path in life, and for everyone who wants their life to count. I posted this video because I know someone out there needs to hear it and be blessed by it. So watch till the end, because after Bishop Oyedepo's charge, I'll also be sharing my own points of view and lessons I personally took from it. Watch and be blessed.
I've captioned my speech today a very humorous statement that I caught from one of my great teachers in my early days in ministry, by name Freddie Casey Price, who said, if you fail, it's your fault. And if you succeed, it's your fault. My reflection: what makes failure a fault? Because a choice of non-committer. A choice of non-committer will always result in failure. Commitment to nothing, particularly non-committer to right things. What makes success a fault? Over-committer to your right cause. Every man's choice determines his lot in life. A great coach never makes a star. But what is it that makes a star in the field of sports? It is the commitment and dedication of the player. It's true that every player is a potential star, but not every player ever emerges a star. A great coach may provide ample opportunity towards becoming a star, but that does not guarantee becoming one. You may coach a man to run, but the man has to do the running with his own legs. You may coach a man to wrestle, but he has to do the wrestling by himself. It is the commitment of sportsmen to the demands of becoming a star that makes one. Anyone who will not take responsibility early will sure end up a liability later. Receive grace to take responsibility early. The core values of the university are well-defined pathways for living a life of accomplishment and fulfillment for anyone that chooses to embrace them. They are not school rules or regulations. They are lifelines to secure your destiny and ensure your future. For instance, a choice to pursue after God as a lifestyle guarantees triumphant living. This is what defines our core value of spirituality, which is godly living and living according to the dictates of scriptures. A choice to build your faith will enhance your possibility mentality and secure your victory in the day of battle. A choice to go for integrity as a lifestyle, because nothing devalues man's worth like lack of character, as you have from the Pro Chancellor. A choice for capacity building in your field of play, because capacity cannot be imparted. Capacity cannot be imparted, it has to be cultivated. Capacity cannot be imparted, it has to be cultivated. You don't dash into a field where you have no working knowledge. You build capacity in any field to make your marks in there. Remember, you cannot be entrusted with anything beyond your proven capacity. He gave the talents to those individuals according to their several abilities. A choice to take full responsibility for the outcome of your life, because you have no one to blame if you fail. Every time you point a finger at someone as your reason for failure, you are pointing three to yourself. You are more of your problem than anybody else in the world can be. You are more of your problem than anybody in the world can be. I had these words spoken to me 44 years ago. You are absolutely responsible for the outcome of your life. Look to Abraham, I called him alone. And that's what God does till now. A choice for tireless commitment in your pursuit of purpose. Because the only substitute for hard work is hard life. Don't seek shortcuts. It cuts people short. Follow the process. Now, a choice to go the extra mile has been demanded by one's task. As I've often said, there is no star without a scar. And the scar of every man is sacrifice. Sacrifice. That's why I consider these core values as golden rules for living. Living a life of meaning or relevance. You have in your university anthem, obeying rules to rule. You don't subscribe to relevant, proven rules. You are not a candidate for the throne. You have been trained as priests and kings, but there are rules to comply with in your personal life to see that become a reality. But note, you may first appear crazy before your peers, before you get enthroned, as in the case of Abraham. Aren't you crazy? Get out of the country. I want to make you great at 75. God, what are you waiting for before I became 75? Now, you may appear crazy, but that is the pathway to enthronement. You may appear unreasonable to others before you become enviable at the end, as in the case of Isaac. You may first be branded a religious bigot by others before you emerge a star, like the case of Joseph. Aren't you mad? You don't mean the mistress of the house wanted you for a second husband that will establish your throne in the house of Potiphar. And you say no. He serves you well. You are now in the prison. That's the end of a big fool, religious bigot. But from the palace, from the prison to the palace. That's your journey. You flee from evil to secure a future. Joseph fled and got enthroned at the end. You may appear first as a babbler, like some of us. In those beginning days, we were considered as babblers before you become a voice, as in the case of Paul. What will this babbler say? You are first seen as a babbler before you become a voice. You may first appear mad by your peers before you emerge a celebrity. They said to Paul, much learning makes you mad. And now a generational celebrity. If you fail, it's your fault. And if you succeed, it's your fault. Note that not making a choice is a choice. But when you live your life to chance, you don't have a chance. Not making a choice is a choice. Well, what will happen? I think I've done enough. What have you done? Therefore, arise and receive grace to take responsibility early. You will smile tomorrow. My wife stood here, she was doing exactly what you are doing now, some 44 years ago. She's still on her feet today. Take responsibility early. It will show tomorrow. Don't run another man's race. Run your race. Don't give room to the gods of this world. The God of gold, the God of fame, the God of comparison. Embrace the discipline of staying the course where you belong. It will only speak at the end, not at the beginning. That little business today will soon become global if you will stay the course. So it's not much more about where you are, but where you stand. You don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. You don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So you have been taught how to develop purpose. The beauty of vision. Go and exhibit by application the things you have learned. My prayer is that each of you will be far above wherever your parents stop. You'll be a blessing to them and not a burden. You'll be a joy to them and not a form of sorrow. And I pray that as you depart from here today, it will be clear that you're coming from a different platform. When anyone chooses carelessness for seriousness, he has sold out his or her birthright. Refuse to be careless. It will erode your worth. When anyone chooses indolence in the place of diligence, he has chosen failure in the place of success. Lift up the hands that hang down and get ready to make the most of your life. When you choose a carefree life for a studious life, you have chosen shame and reproach without knowing. When you choose begging in the place of working, you have chosen lack and want as your new identity. You choose wishing for taking steps. You have chosen stagnation and frustration. Refuse down times. It gets people down. Whatever you have find to do it all your might. That's how egos are made. When you choose waste for discipline, you have chosen regrets. Mind your choice. When you choose to chase cheap money as against legitimate earning, you have chosen vanity against reality. When you go after betting instead of working, you have sold out your future. When you choose carnality for spirituality, you have chosen defeat for triumph. Remember, eagles are made essentially by following the direction of the wind. And that's why eagles don't struggle or sweat. They simply ride on the wings of the wind to scale utmost heights. In the same way, the making of eagles in the kingdom is in following divine direction. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 12 says, the Lord alone did lead them, and there was no strange God with him, and he made him to ride upon the high place of the earth. No strange God, the gods of gold. I must make it. All they mean is money. But if you must make impact, you won't beg for money. Strive to make impact. You won't lack input. The God of fame. We're eagles. Yes, you are. But you begin as an eaglet. And you start maturing to emerge an eagle. The God of comparison. I know where I should have been now. No, see where my friend is. Don't run another man's race. Run the race set before you. If I were driven by money, I would not be in ministry today. And if I were not in ministry, I would not have fulfilled destiny. Run your race. May I recommend to all of you as a must read this book I wrote some years back, Following the Path of the Eagles. It will help get you together to make the most of your life. A young man here had a challenge with his studies. I recommended this for him to read. He came out with a first class in civil engineering. It gives you an idea of what makes an eagle. So you are not a theoretical eagle, but one that is bound to soar in a world where everything is going down.
That was such a powerful charge. Hearing Bishop Oyedepo speak reminds me that greatness doesn't come by accident. Like he said, it comes by decision. He said, anyone who will not take responsibility early will end up a liability later. That line alone can reset your whole mindset, because many times we think life will somehow work out, that things will just fall into place. But the truth is, nothing changes until you take charge. You are absolutely responsible for the outcome of your life. Papa says this a lot, and not your parents, not your background, not your environment, you. Responsibility is what separates those who rise from those who remain. If you refuse to take responsibility, you automatically sign up for mediocrity. But the moment you decide, I'm done blaming others, I'm going to do something with my life, everyone begins to back you up. Bishop also said something that hits deeply. Don't seek shortcuts. Shortcuts cut people short. And it's true. We live in a generation that wants success instantly, without process, without sweat, without scars. But he reminded us that there's no star without a scar, and that the scar of every star is sacrifice. That means if you truly want to shine, you must be ready to go through the pain, the process, and the pruning. You must be willing to be misunderstood for a season while you are building something meaningful. Sometimes it might even look like you are crazy, because, as Bishop said, you may appear crazy at first in your field of calling, but that's the pathway to greatness. That's the truth about purpose. The things that make you different might not make sense to others now, but one day they will be the reason you stand out. And then that thing is said about not making a choice is a choice. That one is deep. Because many times people think being indecisive means staying neutral, but in reality, refusing to choose is also a choice, and it has consequences. Every day you are either moving forward or standing still, but life doesn't wait for anyone. So make choices early, take responsibility early. It will show tomorrow. Another powerful part that stood out was when he said, don't run another man's race, run your race. I mean, life isn't a competition, it's a calling. You are not here to outdo anyone, you are here to fulfill destiny. And you never find peace until you discover what God created you to do and commit to it wholeheartedly. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. Stay faithful in your own lane. Your time will surely come. He also said, life is not about where you are, but where you stand. That means it's not about your current position, it's about your conviction. You might not have everything figured out right now, but if you stand with God, you are already on the winning side. And it's not about speed, it's about direction. And he said something also that struck me. He said, if I were driven by money, I would not be in ministry today. And he also emphasized that we should strive to make impact, not money. That's a lesson for this generation, because in a world where everyone is chasing the bag, Bishop reminds us that money follows impact, not the other way around. If your goal in life is to make a difference, money will eventually find you. But if your goal in life is to make money, you will keep running and never feel fulfilled. So as you step into the phase of your life, whether you're a graduate, a young adult, or just someone trying to get clarity, remember this: your destiny is not in anyone's hands, it's in yours. You are responsible for your success, your growth, and your impact. Pursue God, live by principles, embrace sacrifice, and like Bishop said, a choice to pursue God as a lifestyle will result in triumphant living. So choose early, choose wisely, choose responsibility, and no matter where you are in life, remember you were born to shine. There's greatness inside you. Don't waste it. Let the world see it and let God take the glory. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you've been blessed by it, don't forget to like it, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted anytime an amazing message like this one drops. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.